Hello everybody. Today we start with the next chapter in biology, standard 8th ICSC. It's endocrine system and adolescence. In our body, we have got two kind of systems which are going to control our body. Okay, the control of our body is of two kinds, and two systems are there for that. One is the nervous system. So nervous system is the one which is going to control your all body movements, the thinking and remembering, and all those things are going to be done by the what we call it as the nervous system. And another control is the chemical control of our body. What do you mean by chemical control? The complete body has got a specific quantity. It requires a specific quantity of salts. It requires specific quantity of water. It will require certain kind of enzymes to be generated for the growth. Certain enzymes to be to allow us to deal with some critical movements like too much of emotions or something like you are frightened of. So there are so many different kind of chemicals and we can say enzymes or hormones to be specific, which are going to be required by the body for its normal functioning. So that particular hormonal control, or we can say that particular chemical control of our body, is done with the help of a system called endocrine system. So endocrine system is that particular system or that particular the set of organs in our body which is going to control the chemical coordination of our body. And so let's see what exactly we have about this particular chapter. And of course, adolescence is basically the age when you are just getting matured or you are achieving the maturity. So you are no longer a kid, but you are growing up as a man or a woman. So that particular change what takes place in a human body, that is the change for maturity what is taking place, is called as the adolescence period, which is very critical as such. So we'll discuss that thing also in this particular chapter. Our body has two types of glands, the exocrine glands and the endocrine glands. Now exocrine are the one which are the secretions of our body which is going to take care about the enzymes required for digestion and those kind of things which are related to only the normal functioning of some kind of a different system, like digestive system के लिए या respiratory system के लिए. तो जो भी enzymes which are required for the running of those ones are the exocrine things. Okay, those are the exocrine one, and the other one are the endocrine are the one which are not directly connected to any system. It is by the general body itself. So that's the exocrine system sends the secretion or enzyme through duct. So exocrine systems are the one which has got a proper duct of their own. So that means अगर समझो pancreatic juice has to enter into the duodenum for the digestive part, so there will be a proper pathway of it to go from there and enter over into the duodenum. So these are the one which are the glands which has the specific ducts. Okay, they will be having the specific pathway or a vessel or a duct which is going to allow that particular enzyme to move from the gland to the target organ. Whereas the endocrine are the one which are ductless, means they do not have a specific pathway of their own, but they are just given into the blood, and then the target organ is going to understand that thing from the blood and accordingly act. Okay, for example, if I say that there is some requirement for which the heartbeat should be made faster, okay, so in such a case the adrenal gland, there is one gland near the kidney which is going to secrete some particular kind of an enzyme or hormone which is called adrenaline, and that is it will be just throwing it into the bloodstream, and when it throws into the bloodstream के अंदर वो होने के कारण the presence of that particular adrenaline in the bloodstream will automatically set the heartbeat to be faster rate, or the respiration at a faster rate. So that's why it is not necessary that it will have a separate path from one point to another point, but it is just directly thrown into the blood vessels and the blood is going to carry it over there. So that's why endocrine glands are ductless glands. It is endocrine glands are, so endocrine, they are ductless glands. So they do not have their specific duct or specific pathway, but they are directly poured into the blood. So we see over here the exocrine glands send their secretion enzyme through ducts to the target organ. For example, salivary gland, pancreas, etc. On the other hand, the endocrine gland are ductless glands. Their secretions are called as hormones, which are poured directly into the blood and are then carried by blood to the target organ. So it is produced at one point and it is being taken into the other point by the blood, and that particular transmission of that particular hormone from the gland to the target organ is going to be conducted by the blood. So that's why we can call it as a endocrine gland. Endocrine means ductless glands. So endocrine glands, the hormone producing glands are called endocrine glands. These glands have no duct and they pour the secretions directly into the blood. So that's what I told you, they're hormone producing glands. All those glands which produce the hormones for the body, they are called as they come in the category of endocrine glands, and they pour their secretions directly into the bloodstream. Therefore, they are also called ductless glands. The secretion of these glands, that is hormones, are secreted in very small quantities, yet they are vital and carried to all parts of the body. So, the hormones which are generated, it will never be in too large a quantity. It will be in very minute quantity. And this minute quantity also is sufficient to produce the results in the body. In fact, it is such that if at all these secretions, they go beyond the limit what is required, then also it's a problem for the body. And if they are secreted less than what are required, then also it's a problem for the body. That's why the exact amount of secretion of that particular kind of hormone is very much necessary. Otherwise, there could be deficiency diseases due to it, and also over secretion also causes the problem. So, agar ज़्यादा हुआ तो भी problem, कम हुआ तो भी problem. The hormones in our body needs to be in the right quantity. Only then our body will be behaving normally. The moment the secretion exceeds, you suffer from some kind of a disease, some kind of a condition, ailment, and agar wo kam hua to bhi you are going to suffer with some kind of a ailment or diseases. So the secretion of these glands and the hormones are secreted in very small quantity, yet they are vital and carried to all parts of the body. Each hormone has a specific function and its effects is produced in one or more specific parts only. So, ऐसा नहीं है कि this particular hormone is going to be acting all over the body. No, it is not going to be acting all over the body. It will be only targeted to specific organs. So these hormones are going to be acting only on the heart, or only in the lungs, or only on this, or maybe 2-3 over here or 2-3 over here. So that is for sure that they are not going to be involving the complete body, but they will be involving only certain target organs. So that's why endocrine glands, or we can say the hormones, are going to be affecting only certain target organs or specific parts. Hence we can easily define hormone as hormone is a chemical substance secreted by an endocrine gland which is directly poured into the bloodstream and acts on a target organ or cell. Okay, so combining all this thing is our definition. Then what is hormone? Hormone is a chemical substance secreted by whom? Secreted by the endocrine glands. Okay, and what does it? How does it spread? It is by which is directly poured into the bloodstream and acts on the target organ or cell. So this is the complete definition of a hormone. In this chapter, we will discuss only the important endocrine glands, namely thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, and pituitary gland. So The glands what we are going to study in this particular thing are 4 of them. Adrenal, second is pancreas, third is pituitary, and fourth the first one was thyroid. So these are the 4 different glands. There are many endocrine glands in our body, but the most important ones, or the one which you are going to study in this year in the 8th standard, is this 4. That is, and that too not in detail, just a partial thing. And that is, first is thyroid, then it will be pancreas, then it will be the adrenal gland, and finally the pituitary gland. So let's start with the first gland, that is thyroid gland. So first is thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is situated over here, यहाँ पे, okay, neck के larynx के नीचे, यहाँ पे एक butterfly shape का double lobe, 2 lobe structure. जैसे वो bow tie कैसे आता है, तो यहाँ पे जैसे bow tie पहना हो ऐसे इस तरह से, ऐसे इधर से लेकर यहाँ पे. So this bow like structure over here is the thyroid gland. So they are given the figure over here of the thyroid gland, just above the esophagus and below the larynx. So the thyroid is a bilobed gland situated on either side of the windpipe, just below the larynx. So bilobed, lobe यानी क्या? Lobe यानी one part. So it is 2 parts. So 1 part, 2 part. It is bilobed. So this is one lobe, this is another lobe. Okay. So the 2 lobes are connected together. So यहाँ पे समझ लो एक यहाँ पे ऐसे करके bilobe structure हो गया यहाँ पे. So thyroid is a bilobe structure. Where is it located? Just covering the windpipe. So windpipe के आजू बाजू में. If this is the windpipe, तो एक इधर ऐसे windpipe के दोनों sides पे. What is that? On either side of the windpipe, just below the larynx. The larynx is over here, and it is just below the larynx. It secretes the hormone thyroxine, which is an iodine contained protein. So thyroid produces the one which is called as thyroxine. Okay, thyroxine is the hormone produced by thyroid, which is made up of iodine. So the main content of thyroxine is iodine. So अगर किसी body के अंदर iodine का shortage है, then they will be having an under secretion of thyroxine. So thyroxine produced in the body will be less if the body lacks iodine. So it is iodine containing protein, which is an iodine containing thyroxine, which is an iodine containing protein. This hormone speeds up the rate of most of the activity of the body. So basically it is the one which is going to give you the energy, or we can give you the kind of metabolism. It is called as metabolism, which is the way you do work. Okay, so the way you are going to function, way your body is going to function. So the rate at which you are going to do some work, whether it is going to be very lethargically or whether you are going to be like freshen or do it, तो वो सब depend करता है to a certain extent with the from the thyroxine. So thyroid glands, thyroxine is the one which is going to determine the rate at which you do the activity or work of the body. It stimulates growth in infants. So yeah, when the person is, I mean, childhood में in infants, the thyroxine also helps in the growth. So that's why if the thyroxine is not being sufficiently produced in the body, then there will be a certain kind of deficiencies, or we can say mental retardedness or dwarfism, which will be there to the child who is having a deficiency of thyroxine. The insufficient secretion or over secretion of this gland has harmful effects on the body. So as I told you that, so what we see over here is thyroid produces. Now of course there is not only one thing what the thyroid is going to produce, but anyway what we are going to study is thyroid produces thyroxine, which is a protein based on iodine. Okay, and this thyroxine is going to take care of your basal metabolism, so that it is going to take care of the body activities in general. Another thing what it is going to do is that in case of infants, it is going to take care of the growth of the body. And that's why, and most important thing is that if there is a over secretion then also it's a problem, and if it is a under secretion, then also it is a problem. So insufficient secretion or under secretion is also going to be a problem in case of less thyroxine, and अगर ज़्यादा thyroxine बन रहा है तो भी it is going to be a problem. So let's see what are the deficiencies is going to be caused. So we see that they are given us two things. The first thing is about under secretion. So if the secretion is less, it is called as under secretion or insufficient secretion. Insufficient secretion of thyroxine causes three ailments. Okay, there are three possibilities of ailments, three possibility of disease conditions, which can be body conditions, which could be taking place. First is simple goiter. So it could be causing simple goiter. It is an ailment caused due to the enlargement of the thyroid gland. It appears as a swelling in the neck. It occurs due to insufficient iodine in our daily food. Now, so when the iodine content in your daily food is less, then there will be no possibility for the body to generate thyroxine. See, thyroxine का main raw material क्या है? Iodine. Iodine is the raw material for making thyroxine. If वो raw material की body में available नहीं है, then can it make thyroxine? Of course not. So when it is not able to generate thyroxine, automatically body will be lacking thyroxine. So such a condition where the body lacks thyroxine will be a condition called as simple goiter. In simple goiter, there will be a swelling in the neck, and this region over here, the complete thyroid gland is going to become swelling, and there will be a thick area over here. That's what they are given you in the figure over there. So it causes a swelling in the neck, and this is basically when there is a deficiency of the iodine in our daily food. Thyroid deficiency are common in many parts of India. The use of iodized, that is iodine added salt, is in the food is recommended because iodine is required in the production of thyroxine. So see, in all the hilly regions of India, the soil does not contain iodine, and because the soil does not contain iodine, that's the reason over there the vegetables and the fruits what they eat, they lack iodine, and hence the body will be deprived of iodine. In such a condition, what they have done is that we are now having the salts, like the Tata salt, it is called as iodized salt. Okay, you will see that if you see a pack of the salt, you will always find they were written over there iodized salt. Now why iodized salt? Because what they are trying to do is that if the person just uses this salt in his normal food, at least whatever is the content of iodine required for the body is being sufficed by that much amount of salt. So that's the reason the salt which is being used is now an iodized salt. We are using iodized salt so that we are not having a deficiency of the iodine in our body. The next kind of a problem which can take place due to undersecretion is called as cretinism. Now cretinism takes place in normally children, okay, infants or children. It is this in this particular the children that cretinism takes place. So when a child or an infant is not having the proper amount of iodine in his body, then his thyroxine levels will go down, and this one, and then it is an ailment which brings about abnormal development in an infant. So there will be an abnormal development in the infant. This results in both physical and mental retardation. So what will happen is that person, because he is not having the proper growth growth hormones in him, and that is why the thyroxine absence over there, or you can say lack of deficiency or the deficiency of thyroxine, is causing problems in his growth. And this problem in the growth could be physical, that means he will not be having a proper height, or he is not having a proper body, or you can say, and or not only that, he will also have a mental retardation, that means he will not be that matured mentally also. So we can say that he would be having some learning disabilities or things like that, because he is suffering from lower levels of thyroxine. In case of adults, the deficiency cause is myxedema. Okay, myxedema is a condition seen in an adult when insufficient amount of thyroxine is produced. It shows general sluggishness with swelling on the face and hands. So when a person is an adult, and if he is having this problem of hypothyroidism, or we can say the undersecretion of thyroxine, then he will be having an ailment called myxedema. In case of myxedema, there will be swelling of the face and the hands. So the hands and face will be swelling on it. And apart from that, he will be having a lot of fatigue. That means tiredness. He will always be sluggish, tired, fatigue. So all these will be his problems. There will be cramps in his muscles. So all these are the problems which a person would be facing when he is suffering from a deficiency of thyroxine. So we saw that deficiency of thyroxine causes three kinds of ailments. One is simple goiter, second cretinism in case of infants, and myxedema in case of adults. Similarly, if there is an oversecretion of thyroxine, so the other one is oversecretion. Now, in case of oversecretion of thyroxine causing increased metabolic rate, increased heartbeat, weight loss, and general restlessness. So this is again a kind of a problem that is called as hyperthyroidism. Hyper means jada, hypo yani kam. So hyperthyroidism is the one when there is an over secretion of the thyroxine. So if the thyroxine produced by the body is more than what is required by the body, then the body, you know very well, I told you that thyroxine is maintaining the rate at which the body activities takes place. So if the body activities, अगर thyroxine ज़्यादा है तो automatic body activities बढ़ जाएंगी. यानी क्या होगा? Heart which is beating at a particular pace, it will become faster. The respiration which is at a particular pace, it becomes faster. Okay, and that is not so good. It is like continuously panting. Can you be, means while you are taking your, when you are breathing, do you keep on? No, ऐसा होता है नहीं. क्यों? Because we are having a normal levels of the thyroxine. But if your thyroxine levels are higher, what will happen? Your heartbeat will be faster, your metabolic rate is faster, your weight, there will be, and due to that particular, that there will be a weight loss in your body, there will be general restlessness. Okay, so all these are the conditions what will be happening when the body has got over secretion of the thyroxine. So over secretion of thyroxine is also not good, whereas of course under secretion we already saw that it is not good at all. So this is about the thyroid gland. The next gland what we see is the adrenal glands. So the next one is adrenal gland. So next is adrenal gland. Now, adrenal gland is situated just above the kidney. Means if this is your kidney, if this is one of the kidney, then kidney के just ऊपर यहाँ पे there is this triangular cap-like structure. This is the adrenal gland. So this over here is called as the adrenal gland. So that's why we say that the adrenal gland are like caps over the kidney. So it is like a cap over the kidneys. Each adrenal gland consists of two parts, the central medulla and the peripheral cortex. So the outer part over here, if I shade it like this, so the shaded part over here is called as the outer cortex, and the inner part over here is called as the central medulla. So medulla and the cortex are the two regions of the adrenal gland which produces different kinds of hormones. Okay, the body is going, the adrenal gland is going to produce different kinds of hormones because it is two different regions for producing different kinds of hormones. The outer region is called as the cortex, which produces the hormones called as cortisols. Okay, the cortex produces cortisol. So I'll just write it this way, that adrenal is going to be divided into two parts. The first part is the cortex, which produces cortisols, and the medulla, is the one which produces adrenaline. Okay, so the cortex and the medulla secretes adrenaline, also called as epinephrine and or emergency hormone. So this adrenaline is also called as the emergency hormone. Means what? Whenever you are in a state which is like an emergency for you, like for example you are dead scared, or you are emotionally somewhere down, or you are emotionally not proper, or you are in a match, okay, you are playing football or you are running a marathon. So when you are in a condition that you are ready to fight or you are ready to run away, like flight, so when that particular condition is there, when the body is ready to fight with it, or it is ready to run away, that is flight. So fight or flight. In such conditions, the adrenal is going to be useful. So as I told you, when you are running the 100-meter run, yeah, adrenal is going to be there. And you must have heard this thing in any of the ads of a sports goods that pump up your adrenaline and things like that. So what is that? That is basically the one in which you are trying to fight. Okay, come on, fight. You can do it. So that particular kind of enthusiasm, when you bring it in your body, at that time it is the adrenaline which is going to pump up your body. So it is going to do certain things in your body that it will give you more strength, or more, it's not more strength, but it is going to be concentrating the strength in the particular areas which are required at that particular time. So you can see that these hormones is secreted when a person is under stress, severe stress. So when the person is under severe stress, physically or emotionally, fearful or angry, this hormone prepares the body to meet an emergency situation, that is to face the danger or to flee from an situation. Hence the adrenaline is called the fight or flight hormone. Okay, so that's what we say, that adrenaline is going to be used for fight or flight. Okay, fight or flight. Q, fight or flight. Fight Q, because I am ready to face that thing, and flight Q, I want to run away from that thing. Okay, so दोनों चीज के लिए. So that is in both the conditions when your body is under stress, under severe stress, maybe some anger or maybe some anxiety due to something, or maybe just fearful. So at such situations, there is this emergency hormone secreted by the medulla of the adrenal gland, which produces adrenaline, which is going to make the body prepare itself for fight or flight. That's why it is called, the adrenal is called as a fight or flight hormone. This hormone provides extra energy and strength to the body in any adverse situation. It increases the heartbeat and the rate of respiration, accompanied with a rise in the blood pressure, increase in the blood supply to the muscles, and release of more glucose in the body by the liver, like putting more fuel into the engine. Let's consider that you are in a race, or else you are playing football and you are in the last 5 minutes of the game or last 2 minutes of the game, and you are lagging behind by just one goal, or it is just a tie, and you want to fight at that time. If you want to just go and somehow make that particular goal. So what is the condition? You are completely charged up. You are completely pushed up or pulled up, so geared up for the fight. So in that condition, what is required? Your heartbeat will start pumping more. The heart will be increased. You will start respiring more. Why would you do that? Because when you do that, automatically the ATP, that is the adenosine triphosphate will be generated in the body, which is the energy currency of our body. That is automatically generated is more. And moreover, at that time, the muscles, like the muscles of the calves and the muscle of the legs, they require more amount of energy. So that's why more amount of blood is supplied to those muscles at that time, so that they can perform better. And in the same time, the muscles of the stomach and the intestine and the skin and all, they are reduced because they don't require the digestion to be taking place at that time. So at that time, it is the focus of the bloodstream will be such that it is going to those parts which is really requiring that more efforts, or you can say more strength at that time. So that's the reason the adrenal gland, the adrenaline, what is going to do is try to give you more strength at that time by diverting the blood, diverting the oxygen, increasing the heart rate, increasing the respirating rate, so that the body can be prepared much more for the action. So that's why we say that, like adding more fuel to the engine so that the engine can run faster. So that's the glucose is the one which is present in our body, which is going to give you energy. So that's why more glucose is generated, which is already there in the liver, but it is in the solid form. तो उसको convert करते हैं glycogen से glucose में convert करते हैं, and it is given to the body so that it can pump up the whole thing. So that was about adrenaline. And the cortex, the adrenal cortex secretes many hormones, but the well-known hormone is cortisone. So the well-known hormone is the cortisone. In general, the cortical hormones influence the carbohydrate, fats and protein metabolism. Also, they regulate the salt and water balance in the body. They adapt the body to stresses such as extreme heat, cold and infection. So what does the cortisone do is that they are going to maintain the levels of carbohydrates, protein, salts, the fats. Uska metabolism is going to be handled. Metabolism is nothing but the breaking down of those particular things. So usko handle karne ka kaam jo hai, that is going to be done with the help of the cortisones, and they regulate the water balance, salt balance in our body, and hence they are adapting our body to stresses and such as extreme heat, cold, infections, etc. So this was about the adrenal gland. So the two glands what we studied is thyroid gland, which produces thyroxine, and adrenal gland, which is cortex produces cortisones, and medulla produces adrenaline. The next what we see is the pancreas, but in the next video.